Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back once again and for the very first time to the Thoughts and Crap Show, where today, as per usual, it's your host Anjo here with another Elden Ring video for you guys. Once again, today we are going to be looking at another challenge run that I have devised for you guys. And basically, I like creating different themed runs, essentially, that kind of explore different aspects of the game. So this one, I'm calling it the Godslayer's Flame Run. Now, this is a pretty rough rule set at the time of recording because I haven't actually completed a run with these restrictions yet. I kind of got the idea for it recently and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this would be an interesting one to try. Plus, with certain restrictions, it kind of narrows the focus on certain things in the game and gets the ideas flowing about what was the intention of this aspect of the story. So, alright, let's go over the rule set. Basically, number 1, gotta go with new game, new character, start as a wretch, no keepsake. 2, discard or sell the club once any approved weapon or spell is acquired. Because starting as a wretch, you start with the club, it's your default weapon, your only piece of equipment, and is surprisingly decent, actually. Now, approved weapons and spells. Godslayer Greatsword, not easy to get, pretty hefty stat requirements, but it is one of the Black Flame / Glowmighty Queen Godskin Apostle weapons. The Godskin Peeler, which there's actually only one required boss fight to grab that, so not too bad. It is a Godskin Apostle, however. The Finger Seal, because, you know, it's Black Flame incantations, basically. Which you're going to need a Sacred Seal for. The Finger Seal only has a faith requirement of 10, which is what the Wretch starts with. And the Finger Seal can be acquired from Brother Corrin for like 800 runes, I believe. I think so. The Godslayer Seal, which is the Sacred Seal for the Black Flame. It enhances the Black Flame incantations, so makes sense. And any Black Flame spell. Now, some people would also include Noble Roar with those spells. It doesn't have Black Flame in the name, but it's kind of part of the same thing, so at your own discretion, if you want to, sure, you know, doesn't really matter. But yeah, default Ashes of War only. Now, on some of these you can't change the Ash of War anyway, but I think you can on the Godskin Peeler. Not that you'd want to, but, you know, for certain situations, yeah, but anyway, only default Ashes of War, alright? So, no other weapons, shields, spells, spirit ashes, or consumables. Basically, if it's not on the approved list, can't use it. However, armor, talismans, and the Flask of Wonders Physic is okay. So for optional rules, these are things that are going to make the run easier and kind of fit within the realm of, like, yeah, thematically it kind of makes sense. So if you're having a tough time, you know, these are optional things. So Flame Grant Me Strength, obviously, it would be very helpful for this kind of build, and it would kind of sort of make sense. So yeah. Black Blade, which wouldn't be acquired till you clear Ferrum Azula, so late game. But it would be helpful for some of those late game enemies. Black Knife, which also only has one required boss fight, and also thematically would kind of make sense. And the Blade of Calling, which basically the non-corrupted version of the Black Blade, depending on how you interpret that. But that also would be late game after Morgott. So you'd have to clear Landel. So yeah, Black Knife would be a lot easier to get. But you walk right past the Blade of Calling in a normal playthrough anyway, so eventually you're gonna get it. Again, not on the improved list, but as an optional thing that could make your run easier if you're having trouble. And the last one, Spirit Ash is okay. Typically when I'm doing a challenge run, I don't use summons, don't get any help from NPCs or other players. But if you want, it's another optional rule. So anyway, that's all of them right now. Again, I might refine the rule set after more testing over time, blah, blah, blah. But as it stands right now, I think this is pretty good. This should work out okay. So let's get to the actual gameplay portion of the video. But again, if you guys have any suggestions or ideas, or if you've tried a run like this before and you're like, oh, I found this to, whatever, yeah, put in the comments or whatever. I review every comment that comes into the channel, so I will definitely read it. But yeah, so let's go ahead and go with Wretch. I'm gonna go with Type B because, easy on the eyes. I'm gonna go with Thurk. No keepsake, so yeah, we're good. Just a quick little loading screen, which thankfully on the PS4 version running on the PS5, the only loading screen that takes a second. Alright. Pre-order gesture. Do I have to grab that? I don't have to grab that, right? I always do. Only opens to those carrying a finger. What a weird lock mechanism. You gotta be able to write messages to other players. There should be a way to turn off message. I mean, you can play offline, but which is what I'm doing right now. But wish there was a way to hide all messages. I've always hated that in Soulsborne games. Like walking around and like seeing all these like shit just like littered on the ground. And again, another aspect of these runs kind of plays into the speedrun aspect. So typically I treat a challenge run like a speedrun. I don't expect to get like, a really good time, like an hour. But, it's still fun to be like, oh, cool, I beat this in, I beat Elden Ring in 10 hours with this run. That kind of stuff. And yeah, I don't even have to do that or grab that. Unless the elevator doesn't work, except for those. Okay, we're good. Never mind. And there's a few suggestions I would go with right at the beginning. Again, if you want to take out various NPCs to get their drops and such, like White Mask Fare. Totally understandable. First thing I would do is go get Torrent. It's going to make most of the run a lot faster. Plus, you actually have to accept Melena's help in order to beat the game, so... Although, I mean, she needs your help to get to the base of the Erd Tree, so... Cool. Not sure how I did that without grabbing the thing, but that's fine. Gonna come back here later, obviously, so definitely touch the grace there, and of course I would recommend taking out a few Godric soldiers on the way, hopefully get some armor drops, because yeah, armor is totally fair game. Once you get a little bit stronger, would recommend taking out Bernal, because the Beast Champion armor is quite good. Quite good. Which, yeah, it looks a little dumb without the cape. Not sure why I took the cape off of it. Probably for mobility, I guess. Still no armor. Still nothing. Wow. Usually between those guys I get some kind of armor drop. How did that miss? Still nothing. Alright, and Mr. Trumpet Man, don't you dare blast that. Still nothing. Alright, last one before Melina. Still no armor. Cool. And right after this conversation, I would recommend going up to the hill to the
foot. Then it's settled. Summon me.
storm. What is it called? Storm.
Use it. It will summon Torrent. Treat him with
Storm Hill Shack. I think that's right. Also in the early game, there is a... Definitely go to the graveyards. Get some free runes. There's one about right there. There's one about... here? There's one about right there. Between the three of those and the other just random enemies along the way and stuff, will net you about 10,000 runes. And of course, just any glowing skulls you see, definitely grab those. Because they always have a free Golden Rune 1, I think is what it's called. The rune that's worth like 200. Go ahead and rest here real quick, hopefully before the, yep, wolves start attacking. Good. And we're gonna need at least one stone sword key. because even just to get the prayer book that has the black flame spells and the Godslayer seal, you need one. Oh wait, is it nighttime? No, it's morning. Okay. And to even get that far in Stormvale Castle, you're gonna need to beat Margit. So you might want to get a little bit strong. And watch out for those guys. Because they like to explode. There we go. And sometimes these rams like to fuck with you. Nope. There we go. Alright. Okay. And also, as a reminder, Bernal's shack is right over here. He does have a site of grace right in front of his house, which I'm assuming it's his house, because he's always here. Except at night sometimes when there's a bell-bearing hunter here. Not sure why that triggers sometimes, but... And if you follow the road further east... you'll find not only another side of grace, but also Alexander. Which, yes, to get his quest reward talisman, you have to get all the way to Ferrum Azula. However, you can kill him right here, and then just get the lesser version of his talisman. Alright. And, of course, any free smithing stones would be very, very helpful. And also getting the Flask of Wonders Physic. Which, there's a couple more soldiers over here, which are pretty easy to pick off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And neither of them dropped anything. Oh. Rude. But yeah, they can drop their armor. The entire set, if you're persistent enough. But yeah, I still got plenty of OJ. We're good. Plenty of Sunny D. Plenty of liquid fire. What did I? Is that a rune? Oh yeah. I didn't even see that one. Yeah. Also, the thing I was reminded of recently is you don't actually need Bach to alter clothing. You can just get the chest in the Church of Vows and then do it yourself at a site of grace. But yeah. So those of you who are familiar with the sorcery side of this game, you obviously know this place. But if we go just a little southeast, there's another graveyard. So we're just gonna grab some free runes. There we go, there we go. Watch out for the wolves, obviously. If you come here at night, I believe there's bats instead of wolves. And if we keep going southeast, I think that other marker I laid was actually really close. Yeah, that was pretty spot on. But yeah, this graveyard has a few more graves. Quite a few more runes. Just avoid the white wolf. He's a little bit stronger. And of course another bonus of going down this way is this is Fort Height coming up, which is the home to another golden seed and one half the Dectus medallion. Which, if you want to avoid fighting Magma Worm Makar for now, is very helpful for getting up to the Altus Plateau early. I mean, you know, technically you don't have to fight Magma Worm Makar at all, but, you know. And I guess I'll just grab it while I'm here, because that will take very little time. Oh. Unless I completely fuck up my jumps. It was close. They're too dumb to use ladders, right? Wow, no. Okay. Surprise, surprise. Oh, crap. Shit, I can't get down from here, can I? Oh, it could. Nope, nope, no, come on. Well, tried to jump, and that didn't work. It's only 800 runes, but this early in the game. I mean, if I wasn't just doing like a quick video about this, I'd probably go back for them, but there was like one or two more things I wanted to show real quick, so would also highly recommend getting the other map piece, and at this point the Flask of Wonders Physic, which should be about here, I think. Also the additional crystal tiers along the way. And considering torches can double as a weapon, yeah, no torches. So if you want a light source, you're gonna have to spring for the lantern from the merchant at the the lakeshore in Ray Lucaria. And alternatively, or additionally, I guess you might want to also grab these. Just watch out for the bears. And a little north by northeast. Whoops. Bears will give up. They only chase you for a little bit. Oh, that guesstimate was pretty close too. Alright. Flask of Wondrous Physic and Sacred Tear. Ba-bam. And I'm only grabbing that because later it might be useful to take the teleporter behind here and go to Caelid. Which I think actually over there's another golden seed on the way down the hill from the Bestial Sanctum. I think so. But yeah, now we got more of the map. Alternatively, if you want to go up here, use one of the Stone Sword keys to get the Stamina Recovery Talisman. It's pretty much worth it, and you don't have to even fight the boss either. You just run right past it. But yeah, those are the 3 graveyards. There's a couple more in Ray Lucaria that are pretty much freebies. Couple other early game recommendations for this kind of run. Guess I would also recommend going around Stormvale. It's kind of a key thing that is pretty important in a couple of different ways, actually. Also getting the other half of the Dectus Medallion over in Caelid, and I think the fastest way is actually from Bestial Sanctum as well. I believe so, because then otherwise you have to go to the swamp, and then around, and then up, and it's just, yeah, not as direct, I believe. So, but yeah, as far as going around Stormville goes, trying to think if there's anything else. Once you make it to Ray Lucaria and rest at the, I think it's called Lakeside Shore or something like that. Site of Grace, Melina will show up and take you to Roundtable Hold, so you could get the finger seal from Corrin at that point. But yeah, basically just go under the bridge instead of turning left. And at night there will be some bats down here, usually. Is it not nighttime? Oh, it's morning. Okay. It's kind of hard to tell in Stormvale sometimes. We are almost at half an hour, so I'm going to wrap this up in a minute. Just trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to mention. Oh, I think I already mentioned Black Flame has a faith requirement of 20. And I believe Godskin Peeler has like a 20 requirement in strength and dexterity. So might not be the way you want to go, because then you'll have to spec into dexterity a bit. Which, for the most part, is going to be a wasted stat, so... And you could intentionally keep the club for a little bit. Most sacred seals actually also scale with strength. The Godslayer seal definitely does. So yeah, spiking into strength a little bit, not a bad idea. Also grabbing the sacred tier over here before going to the round table hold. I guess order doesn't really matter as much, but still, remember to grab it. I know Thops is utterly insignificant. Still, I did not touch the grace, which probably should have done that. It is extra golden today. But yeah, the guy who sells the lantern is right down here. And also, as I found out a while ago, at that site of grace, Melina, I believe, can also show up there. Pretty sure. But yeah, I gotta wrap this up. So let's get down there, double check, see if that's accurate. But yeah, that campfire right there. So there's a merchant, and he's the one that sells the lantern.
You're unsurprised, no matter why don't
Which, for this point in the game, kind of expensive at 1800, but very, very helpful to have an extra light source. So I would just keep that in mind. Then there's Melina.
Forgive me. To determine if you had... It seems
Yeah, no
torn,
worries.
Whereas I know there is, but I can take gathering place. Very well. Let my hand...
Yep. Also, in the Ray Lucaria Crystal Tunnel is a Crystallian, which is the boss for that one. It's the northeastern edge of the lake, next to the, I guess, a little northeast of the Walking Mausoleum. And yeah, it's marked on the map as a tunnel, basically. But yeah, the reward for doing that is the bell bearing for the smithing stones 1 and 2. So it's very much worth getting. Plus, there's a lot of free smithing stones like inside there. I can't remember. I don't think there's anything else in here, right? Did I get enough? I don't have runes right now, but I could sell some crap. I did get 2, right? So doesn't really matter what to get rid of, so just, you know. There we go. But yeah. That is gonna do it for today, folks. Thank you very much for being here. Again, if you have any ideas / suggestions for the rule set for this run, yeah, put them in the comments, or, you know, just whatever. I've made a couple other videos like this as well for different types of challenge runs and stuff. They're usually themed, and it's just it's kind of interesting playing this game with, like, beating the game with certain restrictions, because then it just changes things up, changes the focus, and one of my favorite parts about the game. But anyway, thank you all for being here. Of course, before we get going, a very special thank you going out to the current Farts and Crap Show members, which at the time of recording is Novellis Draconis. But if you want to be incredibly awesome, support the show a bit more directly, and get in on all those membership benefits like Novellis Draconis does, Check out the join button down below, or the Farce and Crap Show buy me a coffee. Either way, tier start at $3 a month. It's only 10 cents a day, gets you into all the basic stuff, including getting to vote on the series that get made here on this channel via the Members' Choice poll, of which we do have one active right now. Closes on November 10th, 2023, and that is to select the next Retro Classic series that airs at for the time slot of noon Eastern. We recently had a round of RC samples, which recent videos, that was between October 30th and November 2nd. And yeah, so one of those 4 is going to be the new series, starting sometime after the poll closes on the 10th, so probably 13th or 14th, something like that. But yeah, it's gonna do it all it's gonna do it and be all for today. Thanks for being here. Until next time, everybody, take care, and I hope you all have a beautiful day.